Teddy is very diplomatic with people, but she's very upfront. She grew up in a time when if you wanted to go on somebody's property, you ask permission to go into somebody's property. So I think it has to do a whole lot with how she was brought up. I think it has a whole lot to do with Teddy's personality. I think people realize from the onset that they can trust her.
It began in the Four Corners area. When I was about 4 or 5 years old, I went out with my uncle and a cousin to look for some sheep. We were walking up and down canyons, and all of a sudden I saw a figure drawn on the wall of that canyon, and I stopped and looked at it and wondered why somebody would do that. This is my opinion that this is a bird. Here's the wings, here's the head of the bird, and here's the tail that goes down here. Here we have some historical names and dates. We have some here. We have a brand, which was the Matador Flying V. Here's initial, or it also could be a brand. This is definitely a brand. This is an anthropomorph. This is an anthropomorph, and he's got starred hands. We have some possibly tally marks here. And here is probably a cat, a bobcat, or a panther. I realized that Texas had so much rock art in great abundance that nobody was recording it. We were not doing anything to protect our rock art or to get it recorded or anything that would indicate that we had this kind of rock art. First thought was that we had to inventory this stuff while there was still something on the wall to inventory and have it for researchers 50 years from now.
She began to have an interest in archaeology when there were not very many women in archaeology in Texas or anywhere else for that matter.
Lower your right end of your, there you are, you're right on there.
She studied in school for a while, married, and then began with her husband to work as an avocational archaeologist. And in that, in her avocational work, she's really worked all over the state.
Stewards and avocational archaeologists can get onto properties that professionals frequently can't. And so her work is doubly important because of that. She can get into sites that are otherwise inaccessible. And so we get in there to do preservation work and recording work that simply couldn't happen otherwise.
There's a connection between the landowner and anybody that can come in and tell them what they've got on their ranch. Once they understand the importance of that item or site or whatever it is, then they become real good stewards of it, and they don't let anybody bother it, which is wonderful.
Another thing that she has done is been a leader in outreach. For many years, Texas Archaeology Month, and before that Texas Archaeology Week, was literally run out of Teddy's home.
I'm very, very pleased. We do have archaeology curriculum in the schools in Texas if the school system is willing to have it. Many, many of them have archaeology. Some of them have a whole semester of it, some of them only have 6 weeks, but it's in the science field. And that gives the teachers an opportunity to teach anthropology and archaeology through the science.
Both research and preservation and bringing those things to the public, that's what Teddy Lou's all about.